Right sizing is what the past 30 days has been all about for us. Today I'm giving you an update on the full 30 days, how we did, were we successful, and what does the future look like. If you're new here, my name is Hope. My husband Michael and I are full-time eBay resellers. And on this channel, we are just sharing the journey of what it's like to build this business. We are aiming to build a simple business that will just support a simple lifestyle and is something that we can continue to do as we age. And we are absolutely loving what we're doing. But sometimes things get a little out of whack, and we felt like we were there a few weeks ago. So we decided to take on a little 30-day challenge to do a couple of things, to experiment with seeing how a small change in the number of listings per day would affect our sales, and to finally get some things sold out of our basement. Downsizing and decluttering our basement was the thing that led us to eBay. We were looking for a way to sell items that were left over from our old home renovation business. We had a basement full of locks, smoke detectors, light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, all sorts of hardware, doorknobs. I mean, the list goes on and on. We'd tried selling in a booth. We had tried selling at a flea market, and we'd even tried selling on Facebook Marketplace. None of those places were very successful. So we were searching out a new place to do that, and that's what led us to consider eBay. I had always thought that it was an auction website. I was totally wrong because obviously that's how it started, but it's not what it is today entirely. So in the end, we found what has turned out to be a new full-time business. The funny thing is, the thing that led us to eBay, we had not been selling. We've been focusing on men's clothing because we felt like that was kind of an easy place for us to start. Shipping would be kind of routine and repetitive. We wouldn't be dealing with anything that was bulky, too large, or awkwardly sized. That's where we started. But after a year on eBay, we decided, okay, it's finally time to start addressing the basement. So during this 30 days, we made a commitment to list new items for our men's store, but we're also going to list one item a day that came from our basement. So we did do that. We got 30 new items listed in our basement, and I am pleased to say that within the 30 days, 9 of those 30 items had already sold. We've sold a couple more since then. So needless to say, we are very pleased with the results of selling those items on eBay as opposed to the other avenues that we had tried. Overall, in the 30 days of our right sizing challenge, we listed 198 items and we sold 172. So that gives us an average of 5.7 sales per day, and that's 7 days a week. We obviously want to see that number increase, but I'm very pleased to at least seeing that number being pretty consistent. This past week, we did have a couple of days where we got a little anxious, a little bit too nearsighted rather than being farsighted. The devil gets the best of you sometimes, doesn't he? He did a really good job of distracting us from what our end goal is, and that is to see steady, continual growth. We need to remember that the sales on a daily basis are going to go up and down, and that's fine. It's just like the stock market. You see it going up and down and up and down and up and down. The goal, though, is over time to see it go from here to here. So it can go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down as long as it's going up in the end. So that's where we need to keep our eye. Just keeping that out in the future and knowing that God's got this. He's going to take care of things. He has provided for a full year now. We're only continuing to see growth. So I need to be very thankful for that and not be overly concerned or at every little tiny dip that comes along the way. But speaking of dips, that does bring up an important fact that It is the end of May, and so we are looking at summer. And everybody talks about summer slowdown. And I love that Justin Resells, if you don't follow him on YouTube, you really should, because he just did kind of a summer slowdown smackdown on all of us this week and just reminded us that everybody talks about there being a summer slowdown. And that's not necessarily going to be true. In fact, we went back and we looked at our sales from last summer and we were brand new. So if anybody was going to have a summer slowdown, it should have been us. But because our store was so young and we were continuing to increase it in size, we actually did not see a slowdown. I don't know if it is the niche that we're in or if it was just because of the fact that we were so small and so young at that time. But we're hoping for the same again this year. I don't know that we are going to be so fortunate. What we can do is not freak out when we see those dips. We know that they're most likely coming. What we need to do is focus on continuing to improve our business and prepare for the time when sales do increase. For us, improving our business means we're through this month and we've seen what the impact is of just adjusting our sales numbers up and down just a tiny bit. Now we need to focus on preparing to take advantage of the slow months, or I really think it's just going to be July. I hope it's just July. But we need to make our focus be preparing for when the sales do come, which means, and this is my major task right now, is working on our inventory system. For many, many weeks, we have rushed to get our listings done for the day. We've been dragging, we've been trying to improve a lot of other things, but when we bag the items that we've just listed, I've had a bad habit of just taking them and putting them in a big bag and carrying them down to the basement and putting them on top of the bins that we store our inventory in. Well, after multiple days of needing to find an item that's in one of those myriad of bags on top of the bins, finally today was the day that I had to really start addressing it. So I spent a good solid hour and really looking at how bad it was. It should have taken me a whole lot longer than that. But I spent an hour filling in all the bins in our system with items that have just been listed and consolidating everything. And I'm very, very close to having everything in a bin. I just have to get those locations put on the spreadsheet and we will be in very good shape to start knocking out some more listings and trying to get ahead on our listings. The other thing that I'm working on is trying to get listings done several days in advance. Right now, I typically, when I go to bed at night, I have tomorrow's listings done. I really would like to be at the point where I have 2 to 3 days worth of listings up. And those of you who can get a week ahead of on your listings, I am so jelly. I'm not there, and I really would like to be there. I need to be there. I'm making progress. At least I'm done the night before right now. So that's an improvement, because there have been many a night where I was finishing listings for the current day at 10 p.m. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to get ahead, but not for the rest of the day, because I am preparing for a visit tomorrow from our grandson and his mom and dad, and enjoying some very, very sweet time with them and fellowship. And then having Monday off from shipping and being able to spend some extra time on sourcing in some local thrift stores. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to let you guys go. I have rambled for far too long already. You guys have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and I will check back in with you next week with an update for how sales have gone and how we are working to prepare for summer. Have a blessed day, and we will catch you guys on the next one.